Dr. Zahi Hawass lecture, Denver, Colorado, Wednesday, May the 17th. Egyptology at its finest. His signature hat.
And be alone in front of the city. That is the best visit on earth. Do not miss. And I will take you to the major important discovery that I made, the tombs of the pyramid builders. One of the most important discoveries of the 20th century. For the first time, we can know something about the workmen who built the pyramids. And after that, I will take you to Luxor Temple. At night, you can witness the magic of the statues and the obelisks. This tomb is actually a royal tomb.
Archaeological Paths offers an experience in Egypt like no other. Enjoy
the heart of all of you, Abu Simbel. Two temples built by Ramses the Great, one for himself and one for his beautiful wife, Nefertari. And after that, we traveled to the Valley of the Kings to witness the royal tombs of the pharaohs who ruled Egypt in the Golden Age.
Archaeological Paths arrange
to any country in the world and see this magic. You only see it in Egypt.
People from all over the world already join
to see many unique sites that actually very few people can see.
Archaeological Path made it possible for people to come and visit closed sites, sites which are not open for tourists. This is an adventure. People used to come to Egypt and visit the Great Pyramids of Giza, and they had many questions unanswered. How the ancient Egyptians built these pyramids, who built the pyramids, the magic of the pyramids itself. So they leave the site with these questions. But thanks to Archaeological Paths, you will have answers to your questions by visiting the site of the tombs of the pyramid builders.
It is closed to the public. No one can enter, but you can.
Take this experience. You can say after your trip that now you know something about ancient Egypt.
take part in a tour of a lifetime with the biggest name in the archaeology world, Dr. Zahi Hawass.
Zahi Hawass is the best to have with you on your trip.
He's one of few people who knew the secrets of the pharaohs.
I, Zahi Hawass, invite you to come to travel with us.
By doing archaeological paths,
should be written in gold in history.
The future of Egyptology is full of even more fascinating discoveries, and our tour guests will be part of them. Join us today. Find our tour dates and more information on our website, www.archaeologicalpaths.com. Visit the testimonials section and watch the reviews from our guests. See how they enjoyed their time in Egypt.
This is magic. It will never happen again.
No country in the entire world can compete Egypt. With the culture, heritage, what do we have in Egypt?
This is the only country in which you will see the footprints of the pharaohs.
You will enjoy your stay between the
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. We are thrilled and privileged to welcome you to an evening with Dr. Zahi Hawass. Dr. Hawass is an iconic figure in the field of archaeology and has dedicated his entire life to the exploration and preservation of Egypt's rich cultural heritage. He is one of the most renowned archaeologists of our time, the former Minister of Antiquities, author of over 50 books on ancient Egypt, the person behind countless archaeological discoveries. The program this evening is a multimedia lecture, a Q&A section, followed by a book signing, and we can also get some pictures taken. To launch off the evening, we have an 8-minute video about Dr. Hawass. But first, I would like to welcome John Norman, the CEO of World Heritage Exhibitions. He is the person who worked with Dr. Hawass to bring to Denver. Please help me welcome.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. So my name is John Norman, and I've had the privilege, whose name is synonymous with Egyptology. Dr. Hawass has devoted his life to the exploration and preservation of the rich history of ancient Egypt, and his accomplishments are nothing short of remarkable. From uncovering the secrets of the Great Sphinx to leading the restoration of the Great Pyramid of Giza, Dr. Hawass has made groundbreaking discoveries that have captivated the world and shed new light on the mysteries of the pharaohs. His passion for archaeology is infectious, and his tireless efforts to promote and protect the cultural heritage of Egypt have earned him the respect and admiration of people all over the world.
Thank you very much. I'm really happy to be here. Denver is a very special town for me. I used to come here since 1985 when Ramses II exhibit was at the Science Natural Museum, and also King Tut came to the art history, the art museum. Tonight I'm really happy to announce that in the month of May and June, during my lecture tour in the States, I'm really announcing major important discoveries for the first time. And actually, I always believe that the Sun of Egypt is still going to reveal many important secrets. I consider myself as a lucky archaeologist because I have been working most of my life, excavating, revealing the secret of the Great Pyramid of Khufu. And also, with the CT scan and DNA, I was able to understand many important secrets about Tutankhamun and the royal mummies. One of the great discoveries that we just announced live from Egypt to everyone was a major discovery that happened in Middle Egypt. It's a big, large cemetery of the god Thoth, the god of wisdom. This discovery actually found recently, but I lived near this site, and I found this sarcophagus. If I did do more research when I was 20 years old, I could make this discovery, but I did not. The site is called Tun al-Jabal, beautiful site. Inside this tomb of Buttosiris, you have how Egyptian art was mixed with Greek art. Also, at the same time, we have this tomb. This lady, her name is Isidora. She has an important story. She was swimming with her boyfriend in the Nile, and she was drowned. Her boyfriend buried her in this tomb. He used to come walking every night, actually, to light a candle for her. I did read this story in her tomb. For 2 years, I used to every day to light a candle for Isidora. The major important discovery in this site, it's a big, large sarcophagus, have the name of the god Thoth, the god of wisdom. And we decided to make this discovery, as I said, live from Middle Egypt with Discovery Channel. And Discovery Channel had Josh Gates to be with me. And you know, Josh Gates talks too much. And actually, Discovery Channel was so afraid that I would fire him live. Because I told him, Josh, slow down. But you know, boom, 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 boom. But I did not fire him live. Actually, we decided to go to 3 tombs. But before the 3 tombs, we looked at this mummy. And this mummy is for a lady, covered with green beads, dated back 2,500 years ago. And after that, we went in the first tomb, under the ground, about 30 feet. We found that this tomb belongs to a man. He was a singer of the god Amun. And also, it was stolen. Thieves entered down, and they broke the sarcophagus. But we found out a small statues beside. I began to explain to Josh about the function of this tomb, why this tomb is very important, and we went to the second one. And the second one has an anthropoid coffin. We found this game called the Senate game. It is consists of 30 squares. If the deceased will win, he will go safely to the afterlife. In the canonical class, we found his name is written in hieroglyphic. The workmen opened the sarcophagus and we found the mummy because of humidity in a very bad condition. We began to examine the mummy and the artifacts inside the mummy, and we went to the 3rd tomb, Adventures in the Deserts, walking for about 2 miles with my team, and Josh was behind me, and I entered down 50 feet under the ground. You know what I'm thinking right now? I'm thinking of snakes, because I hate snakes. And I began to crawl until I found this sealed sarcophagus, never opened since 2,500 years ago. I looked at my right and I found this door. I began to open this door. I found behind it a head. It's a magical head that the ancient Egyptians put it here to be safe. If anything happened to the mummy, the soul could recognize the deceased in the afterlife. We found the inscriptions. It's telling us that this person was the high priest of Amun. And the workmen, I think, was like 4:50 in the morning, were singing. And they began to open the sarcophagus, and we found this mummy at 5 in the morning, seen by millions of people everywhere. Now we come to the Great Pyramid of Khufu. You know, anyone can send me an email. I do have a fan email. And some bad emails comes to me. Some people think that I do discover evidence to prove that people think there is something hidden underneath the Sphinx. And all the time people used to tell me, we need to drill to find out what could be hidden under the Sphinx. I used to tell them, how can I lead someone from the streets of New York or London to come and drill? No way. But actually, I myself, we began to think we should look inside the Sphinx. We found behind the dream stela, we found this corridor. The corridor goes underneath the Sphinx about 12 feet only. The second corridor, if you go on the top, you'll find this corridor goes down for 25 feet down. The third corridor, it has been said to me by a worker. He told me that his grandfather told him, if you move a stone from the Sphinx tail, you'll find a tunnel. But he said, sir, everyone who entered in this tunnel, there is always a curse happening to him. I told them, don't worry about the curse. We moved the stone, and we found inside 45 feet, inside the body of the Sphinx, we found this tunnel. But as you see, I was smart. I did not get in first. I sent an American friend of mine before me. Then King Philip of Belgium, he was in Egypt recently, and I told him the same story. He said, listen, I don't want to be a king anymore. Let me inside this tunnel. And he entered inside, but nothing happened to him. He's still the king of Belgium. Clinton, when he came and I told him the same story, he said, you know, if I entered inside this tunnel, I will not have a curse like the one that I had in my life. And you know what he meant by that. In the north side of the Sphinx is located the fourth tunnel. And this is a photograph showing the workmen inside this tunnel. Why do we have this tunnel? We found inside all the 4 tunnels put in situ. Date all these tunnels to 500 BC, the Red Period. Means the ancient Egyptian in the Red Period thought what we are thinking, that the Sphinx contained something underneath. They dug and they found nothing. The Sphinx is dated to the reign of Khafre, the builder of the second pyramid at Giza, to represent him as Horus, giving offering to the sun god who rises and sits in front of the Sphinx temple. But people now, they need to drill. I found out the rise of the water table in front of the Sphinx. I was afraid that the Sphinx could be completely destroyed. I began to drill. I did 32 drilling everywhere under the Sphinx. From this side, it goes to the other side, 40 to 50 feet in the solid rock. And I took a photograph underneath every piece of the Sphinx. And you can see the Sphinx is a solid rock, a living rock, and there is nothing underneath. The second question among the public is the head. They say Sphinx do not belong to Khafre because the head is very small compared to the body. But we know why. If you took all the casing stones of the Sphinx out, this is how the Sphinx will look like. A very deteriorating stone. This is how it was the Egyptian did. They did fill this part with the stones. And after that they covered the body of the Sphinx with the stones. And they did the modeling of the lower body on the covering stones. And this is why the head of the Sphinx is very small compared to the body. One of the great discoveries that happened recently that tells us for the first time about building the pyramid. It is a papyrus called Wadi al-Jarf papyrus. And look at this. Someone, his name is Harith Sa'aj Merin, the inspector Merin. Merin was an inspector who oversees 40 workmen. He's telling us his lifetime. He said, I'm from the Delta. I was hired by Khufu to work in his pyramid. Under me was 40 workmen. We went to Totora to cut the white fine limestone and And this means that the pyramid was finished. And they wanted Tutura to bring the casing stones. And he explained some of his teams cutting stones, smoothing stones, transporting stones in wooden sledges. And after that he said he went to Sinai. And he told that Khufu lived at Giza in his palace. He ruled, this was downtown Cairo, 4,600 years ago. The king ruled Egypt from the pyramids. And Mary said, we are in year 27 of Khufu's reign. And I found out, based on other inscriptions found in the boat, that Khufu ruled for 28 years. Not what's written in every book, 23 years. And he talked about my boss, his name is Didi. You know, I was looking at some of the tombs that I published, which was the Great Pyramid. I found that I published a tomb for someone, his name is Didi. And this was the boss of Bellco. And he said that our boss down, the big one, is Ankaf, who was overseer of all the king's work. Many important information for the first time is telling us from this papyrus, the Wadi Ujaf papyrus, the tombs of the pyramid builders that they found, that can prove two important things. That the builders of the pyramids were Egyptians, because of the names that we found. And also they were not slaves, because if they were slaves, they will never be buried in the center of the pyramid. If they were slaves, they will never rebuild their tombs for eternity like kings and queens. Down, the tombs is the area for sorting salted fish, the bakery for making bread, and the villages that the people lived in. The pyramid was a national project of the whole nation. Every household on the south and the north of Egypt participated in building the pyramid. And you see, dated back 4,300 years ago. All the mummies has to be scanned to understand the age of death. And also, this is to show how the statue will be shown in the Grand Museum. This mummy was found 3 weeks ago, as if it's a person who are buried yesterday. This is a major important discovery. With the press conference, the discovery went everywhere. And I want you to remember, July 3rd, Nick Phillips is showing this important film under the name The Lost Pyramid, because I was searching for the Pyramid of Honi. And actually, I found evidence yesterday. My assistant called me to say that they found one part of this pyramid. Now, I take it to the very things. Actually, what is the first word that will come to your mind when you step in the valley? When Lord Carnarvon asked Lord Carter, what do you see? He said, wonderful things, wonderful things. I cannot believe this moment of Howard Carter looking at the seals that sealed the tomb that he found inside 5,398 objects, and this is my favorite object, is this throne. Why it's my favorite? Because it shows the love of the queen to the king. They are wearing one sandal to show they are one person. There is many important things that we can understand from this throne. Actually, if you look at the northern wall of this tomb, where Nicholas Reeves, who's an English scholar, did announce everywhere that behind this wall is the tomb of Queen Nefertiti. I did object this theory, because Queen Nefertiti was not the mother of Tutankhamun. There is no way that he will come to be buried in a tomb is not his mother. And also, there is no one will come to stop the spiritual value of someone else. Actually, if you look at the tomb of Tutankhamun, you'll find it has 12 points, exactly similar to the tomb of Ai. Means that the tomb of Ai was actually in the West Valley, was made for Tutankhamun. But when Tutankhamun died, suddenly Ai gave him this tomb. Why Reeves thought that there is something behind this wall? He used a Japanese radar, and this is the reading of the Japanese radar. I took this reading to a friend of mine who's the best person to know about radar in America. He said, this is nothing. If there is something, it should look like this. The National Graphic also brought a radar, and they did examine the wall, and they found nothing. Also, I began to excavate in front of the tomb. I brought this team from Turin University in Turin, Italy, and they used radar, and they did not find anything in front of the tomb. I excavated also, opened this trench, I found nothing. And even around the tomb, everywhere, we did not discover anything in front of the tomb. I came to the tomb to examine the mummy with CT scan. This is a beautiful moment in my life also. When I entered inside the tomb, we took this coffin out. I had another beautiful moment in my life, meeting King Tut face to face. But when I came to the mummy, look, the mummy of Tutankhamun is the only mummy of all the royal mummies that the penis of the king is shown. Then I went in the tomb first. I looked, I could not find the penis. Then I said to this guy, where is the penis? I had nothing to do with it. I didn't know where it is. Then I began to excavate, and I found the penis was hidden under the sand. And I did restore the penis of Tutankhamun. If someone asked me, what is the best discovery ever made in your life? I said the penis of Tutankhamun. Now, a magical, on November 4th, 2022, 100 years, I came to the mummy. I took this photograph. The mummy has magic. Howard Carter, in 1925, he took the coffins out, and he found that the golden mask is stuck on the chest of the mummy. He brought tools on fire, and he took the golden mask out, and he damaged the mummy to 18 pieces. Recently, a stupid restorator at the Cairo Museum restored the beard with epoxy. You never use epoxy for restoration. Look, this is the original, and this is the damage. He damaged the mummy completely. This happened, I was lecturing at the same time in San Diego. And this lady stopped me for a photograph. And she said, look, I found that she has this tattoo. I said, why do you have this tattoo? She said, I'm in love with Tutankhamun. I'm really upset of what happened to the king. When I went back to Egypt, and we brought this German who restored the beard, I sent to her an email, we restored the beard. Remove the tattoo. Do not scare your boyfriend anymore at night. Now, I took this mummy out of the tomb, I put it under the CT scan. 1 minute after this photograph was taken, the machine was stopped. It was the first time in my life to think there is something called the curse of Tutankhamun. 1 hour later, the machine did work. I brought the mummy back. I found this card left by Howard Carter to say about the discovery. I wrote my name beside his name. We found out through the CT scan that Tutankhamun was not murdered because of that hole on the back of the head. It was opened on Dynasty 18 to put the liquid for mummification. But we found this fracture in the left leg. It's an accident, happened to him 2 days before he died. Then how he died? The CT scan, look how his finger looks like. The blood doesn't go to his fingers. When Howard Carter took the amulets and the mask, he damaged the ribs of the skull. And this to show he had a flat foot. And this is to show how the blood doesn't go to his finger. In his tomb, found 130 sticks. He used it for walking, like this. shooting one animal sitting, not standing like every king. I thought that Tutankhamun maybe was hunting in the desert of Memphis, had an accident and died. But I'm working on a project for the National Geographic with DNA. And we have a very sophisticated machine with a team from North Carolina and Egypt. With DNA, we're going to find out if Tutankhamun had an infection or not. If Tutankhamun had an infection in this coming, after 5 months from now, I will be able to announce that Tutankhamun died in an accident. I began to think about DNA, the family. Who's the father of Tutankhamun? Is he Akhenaten or Amenhotep III? Who's the mother? Nefertiti, Kia, or T? Then I built 2 labs for DNA on the expense of Discovery Channel. And I got 2 teams away from each other. This is a part of the vessel that belonged to a king.
It's like a wall to hide something. It's a pigment we just found on this decoration of the wall of the tomb.
This is the narrow valley of the West Valley of the Kings. We began to move stones until we received sand. We found thousands of decorations. They call this the wings of the god horse. With this gold, they got it in the coffin. And also, we stopped the excavation on May 2018. We came in September. We found this is foundation deposit number 5. We have to look for the tomb. Time, something important. It's a ring, has the name of Amenhotep III, and also another ring of a queen. We found KVT was for storage, and KVU was for water tank, for the workmen to drink water. And also, look at KV25 was a tomb made for Akhenaten, but Akhenaten never buried in the West Valley of the Kings. He was buried in America. This thigh, we took a DNA of it, because in 5 months, I will be able to tell you the queen that belongs to this thigh. In front of me down, we found this statue of Amenhotep III and 45 royal workshops. Workshops to clean the furniture before they put it inside the tomb. Storage for pottery, water, food, workmen to sleep like that. And also, it has both. The pottery dates the workshop to Dynasty 18. And now came the discovery of the tomb. And this was a tomb, was not used for burial. It was a tomb that contained all the artifacts that the ancient Egyptians used to construct the tomb. Full of artifacts, topped with this tree. Inside, you have this actually vessel contained mummification material, and this mallet that the Egyptians used in making seals, skin animals, and this has a name called Neptawi, lords of the 2 lands. And we found this piece of pottery of a monkey closing his mouth, as if he's saying, I know the location of the royal tomb, but I will not tell anyone. This is KV65. And we found a cachet of mummies. It's not to mummify, but to make the makeup for the mummies. Look, this has red paint and the brush to make the makeup. And this brush is unique discovery. Now we do not need anymore to do any, to take the mask out. With 3D, you can see what's behind the face. And even amulets inside the mummy. Went to the East Valley of the Kings, working in this area near the tomb of Ramses III. This is an area, it's a candidate for a tomb. Behind the tomb of Tutankhamun, an area candidate for a tomb of Dynasty 19. We found this cover of a vessel, inscriptions, a seal of a foreigner. At the entrance of the valley in the top, this is the site that we'll excavate in September 1st. We found a shaft leading down to tombs, rooms, but the shafts and the rooms were empty. And we call this is KV 65. In the Valley of the Kings has 65 tombs. Actually, in the Valley of the Kings, the most important work that I'm doing is the work inside the tomb of Ramses II. Ramses II ruled for 66 years, but the flood last century came to damage the tomb completely. Through the fund from City Lyon and John Norman, who introduced me today, we got a fund to excavate this tomb, because they have the exhibit of Ramses II is in Paris now, will come to the States in 2 years from now, and we are hoping that Denver Museum of Art will have this exhibit. We found out it is the largest tomb in the Valley of the Kings. It contained the largest part of the Book of the Dead and many important scenes. And look at this cartoon. This is the name of Ramses II, the first part, on the first year, Usr Ma'akra, to show that this tomb was built in year first. The tomb is large, with all the scenes that we found until now, and you look, all are religious scenes, and after that we come to this scene, showing the sun god in a boat. In front of him, 4 Egyptians, and 4 Nubians, and 4 Libyans, and 4 people from Iraq. And the sun god is saying, I created all of you, and all of you will go to paradise. He is not saying that the Egyptians only will go to paradise. Another part, which is our number 7 of the Book of the Gates, it had the secret 12 mummies. We come through, this is the seal of Ramses II, and look at the name of the Fertari inside the tomb. And inside you have this shaft that many people thought that this shaft was made actually to contain the flood. But we found it has religious seals, means that this shaft has religious function. We're working in the burial chamber now, restoring it. We did not finish this part yet, but we are hoping that this chamber is with a tunnel, is connecting with the tomb of Ramses II. Because Ramses II children is KV5. Then I think there is a tunnel connecting the tomb of Ramses II to KV5. And I think this will happen. Because inside the tomb of Ramses II father, I found a big tunnel from the burial chamber, 700 feet long. And this is why I really think that Ramses II is the one who built the tomb for his father. And he's the one who built his tomb. Then there is a tunnel that we're going to discover, we hope, this coming season. Because this is the largest tomb in the Valley of the Kings. Now we come to the Golden City. I never thought that I would discover this city. I was searching for the temple of Tutankhamun, because we think that I in Horemheb has this temple. My excavation proved that this temple was made by Tutankhamun, taken by I in Horemheb. After that, I did make a soul diocese beside, and we found the first, is by team again, we found the first houses. Give us big, large city now. Look at the serpentine wall. The Egyptians made it for the flood. When the flood came, it cannot be destroyed. And also look at the area behind it. It can be used as workshops for the artisans. In the temple of Eknaton, you have these scenes of serpentine wall. The city is so huge. It has a few weeks ago, she came again. In my lift, I was giving her a milk. She told me, Zahi, do you believe in the incarnation? I said, yes, Your Majesty. She said, who you were? I said, I was Khufu. Then she said, I swear to God, you were a pharaoh. And this is Brooke Shields. I took her to the Osiris shaft that I discovered. Tony Blair and the children came to see the tombs of the pyramid builders. The old lady came with all the whites, and Laura came as the wife of Mr. Bush. And this is actually Hillary Clinton and Chelsea. And this poor man, I invited him for lunch on my experience at Nina House. This is Bill Gates. I thought he would pay something for the Grand Museum, and he never did. This is Queen Sonia of Norway and Hugh Jackman. The reason that I met him, because I'm a good friend of Jeffrey Kinzinger of Hollywood. And Jeffrey came again with Billy Stiller and Chris Rock. And I took them to the Great Pyramid. Kurt Russell, Goldie, and Susan, the Clip Lisette, Danny Glover, and actually Shakira did sing in front of the Sphinx. And McKellen, her son, entered in the shaft of the Sphinx. Michael Day, and he was shooting with Megan Fox, the Transformer 3 at Giza. Beyonce, she had a very bad bodyguard who pushed my photographer. I had to dismiss her out of the Sphinx. Salma Hayek and her husband, Greg Norman of golf, married Chris Evans of tennis. They wanted to come and get married and see me. After this photograph was taken, I said to Chris, the Sphinx has a curse. 3 months from now, you will get divorced. He said, no, I'm in love with Greg. 3 months later, she was divorcing me. This is Darby Campbell, and all of you will know Dr. Ruth, of course. And I and Willie Smith was chosen as top 100 by Time magazine in 2006. He promised to visit me, and he came in a time I had a broken leg. King Philip of Belgium, and this is Katy Perry of London Room, Calvin Harris, a singer, Adriana Lima, she was a model of Victoria's Secret, and this is my left is Pharrell Williams, a famous singer. Look what he did for himself. And Kylie Minogue, a singer, and this lady, you know, she's in the movie Fatal Attraction, the wife of Michael Jackson, and Usher. Her son married an Egyptian lady, and she came to visit us. George Lucas, when he came all the way from California, he said, I saw the pyramids many times. I came to ask you why your hat became more famous than Harrison Ford hat. I told him my hat is the real archaeology hat, and the Harrison and Ford hat is the fig one. And Rob Lowe was here a few weeks ago, and this is a famous visit of Mr. Obama. I took him to this tomb. He turned me to the other side and he saw this. He said, Dr. Hawass, I look like this. I said, Mr. President, it's true, you look like this. And we laughed. I gave him a replica of my hat. You know, recently Dior made a show in front of the Great Pyramid. And Stefano Ricci of Italy made a show in front of the Temple of Hatshepsut. And this to show that Egypt is safe. We need you to come back. We need you to know that this magical trip that you will make to Egypt is really something that you will not forget in your life. Still my favorite of people who came to see me are two people, Lady Di and Omar Sheikh. And you can see from this photograph how old we met when we were young. I make this website for all of you to know what's happening in Egypt. But remember, from September 1st, major important work will happen. I will find out how Tutankhamun died. I will continue the search for the tomb of Imhotep, the architect who built the Step Pyramid. We'll look what's behind the doors inside the Great Pyramid and what's underneath the corridor in the pyramid, and the mummy and the tomb of Queen Nefertiti. But I want you to remember this valley. We discovered this valley recently. They call it the Valley of Marks. Never anyone worked there, but it's full of scenes like that. And I really believe in this valley is the tomb of Queen Nefertiti. and this will be the most major important discovery for me. I say all the time that we discovered until now only 30% of the Egyptian monuments, and still there is 70% is buried underneath the ground. And you never know what the site of Egypt by height of secrets. And thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see now we have the lights up and we are ready for some Q&A. So if you will get very comfortable, I will figure a way off the stage. And Thomas and I will come around with whatever questions